Okay, so we have a pattern here. This is a visual pattern, and it says, find the number of tiles in the 57th figure. So, 57th figure. I mean, we could draw these all out, right? But who wants to do that? So, does anyone have an answer for the number of tiles in the 57th figure? Only one person? Only one? Che, do you have it and you're just not raising your hand? No? Karan? Riley, you have it? Okay, good. How about two? Do I have more than two? Three. Are there three? Three. Anyone? Three? Anybody have the answer? Four, three. Back to three. Three? Do you have an answer? Answer? Anyone have an answer? Besides two people. All right, maybe we need, it's a good thing we're going over this. So, what did you get for an answer? 3,250. Okay. Riley, did you get the same answer? 3,137? Shoot. I don't think I got either of those. It's close. What did you do to get this answer? Cameron, let's start with you.
I squared it and then plus 1.
Okay. So say a little bit more. Squared what?
Squared 57.
Okay. And what gave you that realization? How did you know to square that?
Because it's going up by 1.
Ah, what's going up by 1?
The blocks.
So this is figure 1. And this, I'll start with Arturo. Some of you should know this too. Let's put the electronics away, please. Or using it as a calculator. Okay. So figure 1, what do you see in most of these? What shape do you see in figure 1? Squares. What size square? What size? So there's several squares, but there are two main different size squares here. I would say like the small square here, and we have a larger square here. So this larger square has how many squares? And how do we get that? Besides just counting, we could also get it by saying it is a 2 by 2 plus 1, right? If yeah. And then I look at figure 2, and I have this small square and this larger square, and we could count them because there's a picture, or I could see this as a, what size square is my larger square? 3 by 3, which gives me 9, plus 1, which gives me my total of 10. So figure 3, similar way, we have one square there, we have a larger square here. This is figure 3. And what's the size of my largest square? 4 by 4. And plus 1, which gives me 17. I don't know where to put that. So it's not just, well, let me back up. How can I figure, if this is figure 1, how do I know what to do in the pattern to get the total number of squares, besides just counting them? Does that make sense? Listen to the question again. How can I get from figure 1, because that's really the only number I have, how can I get from figure 1 to know that I can calculate the number of total squares based on that one number. Does that make sense? How can I get from 1, looking at these squares, and see a pattern to get to the final number? Jesse?
Oh, I feel like if you look at it and like, if this figure 1 is 2 by 2, it just keeps going up. So like, it would always be 1 more than what it actually is. So like, for 57 it would be 58.
Yeah, so the 57th figure would be 1 more than that. So it would be a square that's the size of 58 by 58, and then plus the 1 that's left in the corner, right? Yes? Yes? Nod your head. Yes, that makes sense. No? Okay, so that means I would have a total of, somebody on your calculator, 58 times 58 plus 1, 3,365. So, Cameron, you were really close. What she did, she didn't do that plus 1. She just took 57 times 57 and added 1. Okay? So she had a good concept, and she had an answer that followed from her concept. Okay? So on this rubric, which I'm going to show you now, maybe, this is the rubric that I will be using on some of your questions. You get a score of 0, 1, or 2 for the concept. Do I see that you understand the mathematical stuff that's going on? And you will get a 0, 1, or 2 is, did you actually do the math correctly? Okay? So for yours, I would say you had a partial understanding of the concept, and I would say probably another 1, maybe a 2. So I would give her a 2 out of 4. 2 out of 4. Okay? But this is the rubric that we use. All right? So now I want you to try and look on this paper, because these are all examples of students' work, other students' work. Okay? Actually, I'm going to assign this as homework because I don't want to waste time doing this now. But I'm going to assign this as homework. This is important, but I want to make sure we have 2 full days that we're working on the review. Okay? And I don't want to take away from this. But basically, you are looking at it, and you have a copy of the rubric down here. Okay? C stands for concept. Do they have the main idea of what's going on in this problem? And then process is the actual mathematics. Okay? So I'm going to let you chew on that, not literally, but work with this, maybe take a look at it, and I want you to score. Like this first student, how many points out of 4 would you give them for that answer? The second student on the first side, how many points would you give them out of 4? Okay? So kind of grade it yourself and see what you would give them as a score, and we'll talk about that first thing tomorrow. Okay? Now, I want you to go ahead and take out your practice packet, the review packet. And this is what we are going to be doing. We're going to work on our chapter review packet. I am going to see if there are individual questions. I'm not sure how many people have worked on the review that much, but I want you to work on it. And if you have specific questions, then yes, I will come around to you, unless I see like 4 or 5 people have been having the same question. Okay? So this is going to be a work day for you to work on this review packet. If you want to check answers with someone else, I'm fine with that. Okay? I relish that because sometimes when you work with a partner, you might understand it better from them, hearing it said a different way. So I want everybody working on the review. Test is scheduled for Friday, will be on Friday. It will be on paper, and it will be 100 points, okay? All right, so does everybody know what we are doing? What you need to be doing? If you want to listen to music, that's fine. If you want calculators, calculators are in the back. I might strongly recommend grabbing a calculator if you need to. And that's what we'll be working on. Okay?